Coiny from Battle for Dream Island went from a character where their whole personality was just not liking Fiery to having one of the best character revamps in BFDIA to now being the frontrunner to win TPOT. My name is Info Distinct and I make videos like these all the time discussing object show characters or arcs in a show. And if you like those type of videos, please consider subscribing. I want to hit my first 100 subscribers on YouTube. For the first 5 episodes, Coiny's main character trait was him just being arch nemesis with Fiery. He did have a little friendship with Snowball and was kind of a comedic relief character and had a pretty big role in episode 1, but that was mainly it. Also, the other team got a lot more screen time than the Squashy Grapes because their team was up for cake at stake 4 out of the 5 episodes. However, in episode 6, this seemed to change. In this episode, there were 5 teams of 3 split into a challenge where they had to compete in different courses and try to find a key to this room. And his team ended up being him, Needle, and Ice Cube, and this team probably got the most screen time, but it kind of makes sense because they were the team that ended up going to cake at stake. But Coiny did show his comedic type of character, and he's kind of a snarky but funny character. I'd say more of an unstuff-aware Noah from Total Drama. And I think in this episode there were probably the best flashes of Coiny's character in all of season 1. On his new team, it was him and Fiery, and since there were only 5 other people, then it ended up only being 3 when Golf Ball and Rocky got voted out of the team, and ended up getting pretty annoying, so he ended up getting voted out. But after his elimination, he still had fans of his character, considering the fact he almost rejoined the first time Fire rejoined and got the 14th most votes to come back for the next season of Battle for Dream Island. And I believe in BFDIA is Coiny's peak character. Considering how much slack BFDIA gets, I actually really like this season. I really like the character development of a lot of characters, and I do think this season is a lot funnier than most object shows. And I think this season it shows a more charismatic and funny version of Coiny and kind of being a leader of his team, wanting everyone to work together, especially in the first couple episodes when it's just Pin and Donut and Coiny. And then when Needle and Teardrop joined them, trying to convince other people to join on their team, and then when it got split up into 3 teams, I think that was peak Coiny's character. And I think the development of Coiny's character gets shown a lot in this season, and it definitely leads into BFB. His main point of his character was just him arguing with Fiery all the time, but yes, they did still have the arch nemesis / rivalry in the season. It was definitely less prevalent, and you can see people like that because almost every time he was up for elimination, he got the most likes on his team. It also shows a lot of Pin's character development in the season too, and I think the Pin-Coiny dynamic and friendship is one of my favorite relationships out of all of object shows, honestly. And I feel like Coiny and Pin and We Ooze a whole bunch as a team was definitely one of the most entertaining teams of this season, or honestly the most entertaining team. Free Smart was definitely a good team this season, but Coiny really carried this season in my opinion. And just the way Coiny interacts with certain characters is honestly really funny. His unself-awareness is also pretty funny, which I feel like doesn't really get talked about that much, but he's also pretty quick-witted of a character. Honestly, I do feel like it is a true shame BFDIA never got finished because I feel like Coiny definitely would have had a bigger and better story. I feel like his scenes on BFB and TPOT are very good, and that's why he's such a liked character, but I do feel like him and BFDIA was just more of a developed character and definitely had more developing in the making, and I feel like Coiny definitely would have gone far. I do think he's going to go very far in TPOT, but the thing is there's just so many characters in TPOT. That's kind of my main issue with it. In BFDIA, there were more characters than the original BFDI, but it definitely wasn't to the extent of TPOT and the original BFB cast. Honestly, in the beginning of BFB, there really isn't that much of Coiny's character. I mean, you do see that he has a pretty good friendship with Fiery and Pin and Needle, but that was kind of something we already knew going into this season. But his character does definitely develop a lot more when Loser gets voted off, and he does start building a better relationship with Pin going off of BFDIA. You can definitely see Coiny's leadership translate from BFDIA to BFB, putting confidence in his team and especially Pin. And his character build's kind of the same from TPOT to BFB. Not a lot has changed, but it is kind of crazy to see where Coiny came from since BFDI, from originally being one of the most disliked characters and getting the most votes of all time at the time of his elimination, to now being one of the most beloved BFDI characters of all time and now has a genuine chance at winning TPOT. It is really crazy to see how much Coiny has changed and how people's perception on him has changed, but I feel like a lot of that did come from BFDIA than BFB or TPOT. And I feel like that's what makes me really sad about BFDIA never finishing, because I feel like it did give a lot of characters in that season a lot of good character development. I really do hope one day Jack and Jellyfy decide to finish BFDIA after TPOT, or maybe in the middle of TPOT, because honestly a lot of people want to redo it themselves, but I feel like they just don't have the same spark of writing BFDI like Michael and Carrie do. But if you did end up liking this video, please consider subscribing. This is my 3rd video ever, and I'm trying to reach my first ever 100 subscribers. It would genuinely mean a lot. If you want me to do another video idea or what show you want me to talk about, please leave it in the comments, because I'm all here for the ideas in the comments, or criticism on the video, or maybe some compliments like you guys did leave in the last 2 videos, which genuinely does mean a lot to me. But yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.